What's up YouTube? I'm Yajji, and today we're going to be talking about Bastion counters. It's been a couple of days now, and I'm sure you guys have had the pleasure of experiencing the difficulties of dealing with a Bastion, especially when he has his whole team protecting him. I've had him in almost all my placements, whether I'm on defense or attack, whether I'm on King of the Hill, Escort, or 2CP, he's just everywhere. And I thought, since we're beginning to see him more frequently, it would be a good idea to show people different ways you could deal with him. As of patch 1.8, some of the heroes that used to counter Bastion no longer do the trick, but there are a couple of heroes that do counter the new and improved Bastion. Who are these heroes? I'm glad you asked. Mind you that these heroes are in no particular order, so let's get to it. At number 1 we have Sombra. Even though she's not wildly popular, she's very effective at countering Bastion. Maybe this was Blizzard's plan all along. Buff Bastion to increase Sombra's viability in the current meta, thus making Sombra more viable. I wouldn't be surprised. The reason she counters Bastion is due to her hack and EMP removing Bastion from Sentry mode, where he takes the full 100% damage rather than the 65 he does in Sentry mode due to Ironclad. Keep in mind that your team has about 6 seconds to make a play, otherwise back to Sentry mode he goes. Another reason why Sombra is so good at countering Bastion is because she can also hack Reinhardt, and that means Bastion will no longer have a shield protecting him, allowing you and your teammates to shoot right at him. At number 2 we have Roadhog. Roadhog counters Bastion because his hook removes Bastion from Sentry mode. Once out of Sentry mode, he's a lot easier to kill, and even if you don't kill him, it puts Bastion in a compromising position where your team can capitalize on an out of position Bastion. The hard part is getting close without being mowed down. At number 3 we have Ana, and as if Ana wasn't good enough at a bunch of other things, she's amazing at countering Bastion. Her Sleep Dart and Bayonade both counter him. Her Sleep Dart is extremely easy to hit on a stationed Bastion, especially without a Reinhardt shield protecting him. And even if there is a Reinhardt shield in front of him, all you have to do is reposition yourself and then sleep the Bastion, and the Reinhardt acts as a barrier just to make sure that nobody wakes him up. Ana's Sleep Dart is one of the strongest counters to a nano boosted Bastion, so long as no one wakes him up, otherwise everyone just dies. Her Bayonade counters Bastion because it forces him to reposition after taking a certain amount of damage, otherwise he'll just die. Even though Bastion is as tanky as he is, there's only so much damage he can take without receiving healing. At number 4 we have Mei. Mei is an unconventional counterpick to Bastion. The hard part about killing a Bastion is getting close enough. Mei allows your team to maneuver around the map with the use of her wall to block Bastion's line of sight. Now Bastion has two options. He can reposition himself, which puts him in a vulnerable state, or wait for us to make our move. It's tricky to make work since not everyone on your team will be on the same page. But like I said, it's an unconventional pick, but I've had my luck with it. And finally, at number 5, we have Bastion. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. This fight really relies on who has the superior positioning as well as healing. There isn't much to say about this since it could go either way, but I just thought I should mention it since Bastion does work on attack or defense. Alright, so we've covered what counters Bastion. Now let's talk about the counters that don't work anymore, as well as they did last patch. One of the heroes that worked last patch that doesn't work this patch is Genji. Genji's deflect doesn't do as much damage anymore because of the Ironclad buff Bastion received. And not to mention, Genji's damage can easily be healed and requires him to be fairly close. Bastion can simply ignore the Genji while his team deals with him, and he can focus on more important things. And it's important to note, although Genji doesn't really counter Bastion, Bastion has a difficult time killing Genji due to the mobility and the increased spread that he received while in Sentry mode. The second hero that is no longer as much as a counter to Bastion is Hanzo. This one is simple. Hanzo can no longer one-shot scatter Bastions. Instead, it requires him to follow up with another shot. Although Hanzo's capability for killing Bastions was reduced greatly, his scatter shot still deals 292 damage. All that's needed is an extra 8 damage of follow-up. And finally, another hero that has a harder time killing Bastions is Pharah. It takes 4 shots for Pharah to kill a stationed Bastion, and Bastion is able to heal himself for 75 damage a second, while Pharah's rockets deal 74. And if we take into account that Pharah's rockets have travel time, it makes it quite difficult for Pharah to kill Bastion on her own. It's also important to note that Pharah's concussion blast doesn't move Bastion out of Sentry mode, and neither does Lucia's boop. Well, that's all I've got for this video. I hope you guys have an easier time countering Bastion with the information I just gave you. And remember guys, Bastion's headshot area is actually in the back while in Sentry mode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.